For 1,000 years, it had stood. The Christian bulwark. The second Rome. A city that was more an idea than a place. The living heir to Caesar and Christ. But on an April Tuesday in 1453, the idea was under assault by the future. The air, thick with incense and prayer, was now thick with gunpowder and fear. This is the story of the fall of Constantinople. Not merely the end of an empire, but the day the medieval world shattered. And from its ruins, our modern age began to rise. The Byzantines called themselves Romaioi, Romans, but their empire was a ghost of its former self, a palimpsest of lost glory. They were theologians and diplomats, masters of ceremony and intrigue, but their armies were gone. Their wealth, spent. Their great walls were now their only skin. To the west, Catholic Europe viewed them with suspicion, heretical schismatics. To the east, the young, dynamic Ottoman Sultanate saw a ripe prize. The prophecy was clear. The city of the world's desire would fall to a sultan bearing the name of the prophet. Two men destined for collision. Constantine, the emperor, was a soldier and a patriot, clinging to the fragments of his birthright. Mehmed, the conqueror, was a polymath, fluent in languages, obsessed with history and military science. He saw himself as the new Alexander, the heir to Rome. He had read of the ancient Trojan horse. His would be a horse of bronze, a cannon.
The Ghazis of my father conquered lands. I will conquer ages. What is the use of a sultan who does not take the city? Give the Hungarian Urban whatever he wants. Build the cannon.
For 54 days, the world watched. Mehmed's force of 80,000, including elite janissaries, faced 7,000 defenders. The walls had repelled 23 sieges, but they had never faced this. The giant cannon fired stone balls weighing 200 pounds once every 3 hours. The sound alone was a psychological weapon. Yet the repairs held. The Byzantines, alongside their Genoese and Venetian allies, fought with the desperate courage of the damned. On May 28th, knowing the final assault was imminent, the city held a last united service. It was a scene of apocalyptic poignancy. As the liturgy echoed under the Great Dome, they sang hymns that had survived a millennium. The emperor took communion, made his peace, and went to the walls. It was an echo of another Last Supper, a covenant facing its twilight. The city is fallen, and I am still alive.
Is there no Christian to take my head?
He then cries before plunging into the fray. The ancient prophecy was fulfilled. The blood ran, as was the custom of siege. But Mehmed's vision was greater than plunder. In Hagia Sophia, he saw the ultimate symbol of imperial transformation. By preserving it as his mosque, he declared himself the successor of Justinian, the new Caesar of a world empire. Constantinople became Istanbul, the capital of the Ottoman Empire for nearly 500 years. The fall was not an end, but a detonation. The end of Byzantium. The last direct link to the Roman Empire was severed. The Christian East was subsumed. Ottoman ascendancy. A Muslim superpower now straddled Europe and Asia, shaping geopolitics for centuries. The Renaissance spark. The flood of Greek scholars and classical texts into Italy provided the intellectual fuel for the humanist revival. The closing of the East. The Ottoman grip on trade directly spurred Portuguese and Spanish voyages to find new routes, accidentally discovering the New World. So, what does this cataclysm teach us? It teaches that stones, no matter how mighty, will fall. But ideas are immortal. The Byzantine idea of Rome died that day. But the Greek idea of philosophy and art was reborn in the West. The city's fall felt like a biblical catastrophe. A great star fell from heaven, blazing like a torch. Revelation 8:10. For Orthodox Christianity, it remains the great trauma, a loss of Zion. Lesson learned: empires are temporary, civilizations are fluid. Conquest can transplant the seeds of the conquered into new soil, where they bloom in unexpected ways. Mehmed won the city, but the intellectual legacy of the city he conquered helped birth the world that would eventually eclipse his descendants. What you may not have thought of: the fall of Constantinople created the modern concept of the Eastern Question, the instability caused by a decaying multi-ethnic empire. The echoes of 1453 resonate in the conflicts of the Balkans, the Crimea, and in the eternal duality of Istanbul itself, a city forever torn between two continents, two faiths, and 1,000 years of ghostly memory. In its fall, we see the brutal, beautiful, and ironic engine of history, that from death comes new life, and from the ashes of one world, the phoenix of another, forever rising. This is Hidden Histories. Like, share, and subscribe for more biblical mysteries, ancient truths, and forbidden knowledge revealed daily.